Millions of people are participating in the health movement of Dry January, simply choosing not to drink alcohol for the month as we move into February. So we're talking about how to keep it going. And so here helping us is wellness and life coach Ellen Palmer, here to help with some advice. All right, so Dry January. Some people, maybe they weren't as good about it as they wanted to, but it's coming to an end. So where do they go next?
Exactly. So congratulations to anyone that tried something new in January. It's really hard to change behavior. It takes commitment. It takes courage. So congratulations. I don't feel like we celebrate that enough. So whether you were dry for the whole month, a week, a few days, a few hours in some instances, we learned some really valuable things about ourselves. We did some amazing things for our body. And now, as you're saying, we get to integrate what that looks like. So let's take first a look at what we learned. Let's unpack the Dry January wisdom, because I think it's really hard to make anything stick until we take a minute. So there's just a couple of really simple questions to ask. The first is, like, how is your life better because you gave up or you modified alcohol? The second is, what allowed you to stick with it? Why did you do it? And was that something that you're willing to do going forward? And the third question is, if you didn't, what tripped you up? And there's no judgment in any of those questions. It's just information. But if you felt better, and if you feel like your life could be better if you modified alcohol, there's a couple of options. And so there is Dry February. Some people might be cringing at that, like, why would I want to continue this?
Well, it would also be for someone who maybe didn't do as well in January and wanted to try it again.
Right. I know. I think that's important. And, you know, there's so many health benefits to giving up alcohol. You know, it's way better for our heart. It can lower our blood pressure. It's fantastic for our liver. It gives our liver a break, and it gives our body a chance to really get cleaned out. It can be fantastic for weight loss. Weight loss is really a huge side benefit of it.
Right.
It's great for our mood. Alcohol is a depressant. It can make us really anxious. Some people drink to be less anxious, but over the course of time, it can cause more anxiety.
And in fact, I assume that has to help with focus as well.
It definitely helps with your brain, and it helps with sleep. So again, if you're feeling like that's something you want to continue, there is Dry February. And there's also modifications. What if you took control of how and when you drank? What if you had one drink per event? Or another way to do it is have one drink per hour. Another great option is to hydrate. Drink a huge glass of water before you drink. You're probably going to be a little bit more full, and you may drink less. You might find that you're drinking less. Or drink in between your cocktails. Also, there's mocktails. We were just talking about this a little while ago.
They're so fun.
They're so fun, and there
Yeah.
are more and more places that are integrating them into the menu, and there's entire bars that are zero proof or non-alcoholic now. Maybe consider bringing a mocktail with you if you're going to a house party. And maybe you start with an alcoholic beverage and then you integrate
Switch
the
over.
mocktails. Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing to do too is consider where you're drinking. Like, most people, when they go out for dinner, they're more likely to have cocktails, a glass of wine or beer. And so what if you did takeout instead a couple times per month? And I know that's huge for people to wind down at the end of the day. I hear that so often in coaching when people are considering their relationship with alcohol. Consider having something in a really fancy glass. You know, maybe it's a cocktail glass or a glass of wine with seltzer.
That's a good tip as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have a swap out.
And all that kind of saves you money too, because alcohol is expensive, whether
It
you're at
is.
home or you're out at.
It is. It's expensive, and so consider that a swap. So the money that you've saved, maybe you're planning for a trip, or maybe you're spending on a gym membership. It's
Right.
You have to remember, it's your journey. There's so much judgment around drinking, not drinking. It's your story. You get to create what you want, what works best for you with your relationship with alcohol and anything else it is that you're trying to change.
Important thing to keep in mind. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Good stuff.